Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairy Muppet, and welcome to another Daily Masters cast. It is going to be a ZvZ. Up the top right side of the map, we do have our red Zerg player, TargA, one or the other. He is going to be TargA, because I always sound that lovely J sounding name. It sounds awesome making that sound. And that is why we call this player Jaedong instead of Jaedong, because Jaedong just sounds so much more awesome. And to be honest, I really don't care if I'm doing it wrong. If I am doing it wrong, please just don't tell me, because I love saying Jaedong so much. It just sounds so good coming out of my mouth. And yeah, maybe if like 10 billion people just commented on my channel and said, no, you're saying it wrong, say Jaedong instead. Maybe if Jaedong himself came onto the channel and said, no, you're doing it wrong, I might start doing Jaedong. But Jaedong, it doesn't flow as well as Jaedong does. Jaedong just sounds better. It just sounds better coming off my tongue. It really does. And Jaedong is just, it's a very harsh sort of j sound, and it doesn't really roll off the tongue, you know what I mean? It's Jaedong. It's very sharp. It's got very sharp corners to the pronunciation, but Jaedong, it just rolls off so smoothly, like TargA. TargA is another very sharp word, so we go TargA. TargA, I mean, you've got the T. There's nothing you can do about the T. I mean, it's just there. You've just got to deal with it. There's no way around that. You've got to do the T. You've got to say ta. No, there's no way around it. There's nothing you can do about it. It could do like a silent T, and we could do Aja or something, but that's probably pushing it a little bit fast. So anyway, Tarja is definitely a lot better than TargA, because TargA, there's two really sharp corners in a word, and that's just, we don't want any sharp corners in the word. But anyway, moving on. And yeah, TargA getting the sporting pool out before the hatchery, so he's going to be getting out a couple of lings nice and early. Not really much to be worried about early on. Jaedong going for the synchronized hatchery and spawning pool build, so he's going to have his thing out a little bit earlier, and these two lings going to come out and going to have a little bit of a scout around. Not really going to be able to see much. I mean, at this point, you can't even really tell whether it was a pool first or a hatch first or something like that. I suppose when they see the queen being produced out of this hatchery, they can sort of tell at that point. And these guys actually just going to be doing a run there. They don't want to run past and really scout. They just, I really don't know what these lings were going to do actually. But I suppose at this point, there's really not much to see. Maybe you could see the queen coming out of there, and you'd be like, all right, that's what's going on. That's what's happening. And was he actually building another? I'm looking at the complete wrong person. This is Jaedong over here, and I'm looking at Tarja's. This pisses me off, because he's on the left side and Jaedong's down the bottom left, so it confuses me quite a lot. But yeah, there is the queen coming out, and this other queen going to be taking the lings out. He's going to have a scout. He's not going to see anything really crazy. I suppose the only thing you can really draw conclusions from at this point in the game is the gas bubbling? Then it's going to be link speed. Is there more gas than you would expect? Right now he expects one, and yes, the one is all he has. And now Jaedong going in for the second gas himself. He's actually didn't have any gas at all, but he's now double expanding onto the gas, and we can expect TargA to be getting the second gas sometime soon. If he's just going for a massive amount of lings, then I suppose he doesn't need the gas, but he is getting the baling nest, so definitely gas coming out sometime in the near future would definitely not be a bad option. Even if he goes for, what, 2 lings for every 1 baneling, he probably doesn't need the second gas by now, but sooner or later he'll want more banelings, and yes, when he wants more banelings, then he is going to need that second gas. He's actually going for a lot of workers here, and trying to push off this very aggressive sort of attack to get a lot of workers, but Jaedong already ahead of him by about 3 workers, and the ling's not going to be doing too much. He's actually got a very crazy sort of gate here. This is like the death pit right now. The Queen's actually backing off to pop this base off again to spawn some lava, and having to suck up that gap. But there is a little bit of a gap there, which I feel like the Lings maybe get through. A bunch of Overlords. This is like the Overlord convention over there, just hanging out. And here come the Lings. He wants to get the Banelings in there to hit the Queens, I think. He doesn't really want the Banelings to hit the Queens, but he feels like there's probably no other option at the moment. However, getting the Banelings to go in first, the Queens will focus them down. They'll kill at least one of them, and there'll only be one Baneling hitting the Queen. And I don't think that's going to be enough. He needs both Banelings to hit the Queen, but he can't send them out in front because, yeah, he will just micro them. So unless he wants to build 70 billion Banelings and just roll them all in here, is not going to happen. And meanwhile, we do have roaches coming out for Jaedong, so this attack is not going to work anytime soon. But TargA, very, very wisely, going for his third base nice and early. And instantly, this Ling force, having been denied the run into the expansion of Jaedong, is going to be a deny the third base for as long as possible force instead of an actual kill stuff force. And he's not doing a bad job, but Jaedong, once he had roaches out on the field, he just shoved this force out of the way extremely easily. And there he goes. His own third base is going to be down. TargA starting to get roaches out, but Jaedong definitely got the superior roach numbers right now. His own third is going to be quite delayed behind TargA's third, and the question is, can TargA make advantage of the fact that he has his third base so much earlier? And I really don't know, because this is quite a scary amount of roaches, although TargA catching up very, very fast. So yeah, definitely I'll retract my comment if indeed I did make a comment to that effect, that Jaedong had a critical, overwhelming number of roaches to really make something happen, because it does appear that he does not have that many roaches anymore. He can keep producing them, but right now the roach numbers have evened out to the point where I don't think anybody can really win at this point and the next few minutes, because you send out all your roaches and we managed to get the Lings into the main base. This is going to be pretty scary. The question is, the Queen is holed up there very, very nicely, but a whole bunch of drones are going to come down. And this is really, really great for TargA, man. Really, really giving him that little bit of an edge that he needs. And he doesn't have that many roaches, actually. Jaedong really, really pushing the roaches hard. And Jaedong is going to have to make something happen here, I feel like, because he's 10 workers behind. And in a ZvZ, that is quite a large amount. So I feel like TargA can hold this off, though. He does have the defensive advantage, but his upgrades are a little bit behind. Jaedong's already got the 1-1. TargA only with the 1-0. His two weapons are a little bit ahead of Jaedong's two weapons, but still that one armor is going to be quite a sizable push. And yeah, Jaedong right now, he's sort of reeling from that attack, but that little flex with a bunch of roaches coming out there, pressing in. TargA instantly building a ton of roaches because he thought he was going to get hit really, really hard. And what the hell did Jaedong do? He built a ton of workers. He is now back to 61 over 59, and he evened himself up instantly with their very, very scary roach push. So you don't even need to attack your opponent, you just need to get into a position where your opponent thinks you could attack him. He gets scared into building a ton of roaches, and that's when you build the workers. And right now, TargA once again taking the initiative, getting the Hydralisk Den out. He's going to have it a bit before Jaedong does, and he's pushing out with a very, very decent amount of Hydras here. And this is really the secret to Zerg play, getting the unit that your opponent is getting a little bit before they get it. And really, really just go out there and do a great job. And he's getting the Hydras out nice and early, but I do not know, man. Jaedong actually getting pretty close to the unit cap, and TargA has an opportunity to get these superior forces out right now, because the problem is Jaedong cannot build as many Hydralisks as TargA can, because his supply capped. So we have a look at the units. He hasn't got any Hydras so far. Meanwhile, TargA has 12 and he's building 2 more. He's building a bunch of roaches here. I feel like maybe they should have just been pure Hydras at this point, but he does need some roaches to bash off against Jaedong's roaches. And with these few Hydras over here, Jaedong loving to hit those Hydras there, but going to be chasing them off. And yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. We have a look at the upgrades. He does have the Hydra range. He does have the Roach speed. There we go. There's the Hydra speed coming on. So neither players have that as of yet, but of course that's to be expected because the Hydra range definitely the favoured outcome. And look at these. It's got a force over here. This is not Jaedong's main force, but I feel like without these guys, that TargA can just completely overwhelm him. And meanwhile, he's going to be just sort of going around here, and Jaedong doing a very good job at getting this watchtower before he sent these roaches in. These roaches coming around, I don't know why they're doing it. Maybe they're going around for a bit of an attack over here. Bit of a side swap. Jaedong sees them all, but he's not going to reveal his hand quite yet. This is too heavy of a fist to just take out on these roaches, because he knows if he lifts that up, that TargA would just send in all his forces, just wipe them out, and not going to be good. So he's going to be looking for a double attack here, and one force going to go in, taking this base out, the other force going to come in, and I feel like this base in quite a bit of trouble here. Although Jaedong not going for that, he's going purely for the third base and letting himself be seen in this watchtower, and TargA taking all of his forces down. And meanwhile, this force not going for the third, they're going for the expansion. That's twice as much distance that TargA will have to run to save this base. And oh man, he's actually cancelling this base. He feels like he cannot hold it. Another group of roaches going over here to do massive amounts of damage. And just his army is trying to go back there to hold this off. The roaches all burrowing here. And I don't know how much scouting TargA has. How much overseers he's got all over the place to really scout. It's not that much. And if Jaedong, if he holds off the APM, where is the APM tab? And he is going... No, wait, that's the other guy. TargA's actually going nuts. Jaedong, he thought he was going nuts, but he's just ducking the roaches up and down all over the place. And TargA does not have the overseers he needs. He's got a bunch of overseers over there. He pushes these guys off. And now he's going to have to push off this main force. That's going to be a fairly decent amount of roaches lost. But the economic damage that Jaedong managed to push in there is just completely insane. Really, really ripping those workers apart. And something that you don't really see used all that much anymore, the roach burrowing. And because, yeah, you burrow when your opponent's attacking you, they got an overseer, they're going to wipe you out. You split your force into 3 different groups, send them into different mineral lines, and look at these roaches, man, they're still alive. TargA has no idea they're even there, but he'll find out soon enough. Then you split them into 3 different groups, and then you jump up and down? Hell yeah, man. I mean, how hard is it to oversee 3 different locations at once? It's incredibly hard to do that. To get the forces over there to get... Oh, it's all sorts of crazy, man. All sorts of crazy. And Jaedong has really, really got a ton of stuff here. And he's pushed around the side. A ton of spine crawlers here. But I feel like these spine crawlers are not going to be able to do the damage. And the third base is going to go down. He's already had his 4th base pushed back. And TargA decides to just wipe out this base. Maybe going for a base mace. Maybe he's just really, really pissed off and he wants to kill some shit. But it looks like he is actually doing quite a lot of damage to these locusts. Doing a great job of blocking here. And these forces doing a great job of taking shit out. So right now it almost is a base race. I feel like TargA has the biggest amount of units out here. More than Jaedong does, definitely. But, I mean, Jaedong is holding something back. He's got these roaches over here, but the locust hitting them, and that is not good. And TargA a bit all over the place. He decides to go for the 4th base. I don't know whether he's going for a base race. He's definitely feeling a bit jerky. He doesn't want to pull all his forces back to defend his main, but it may be taken out of his hands if the defending forces end up wiping out his forces. He's still got the better army right now. And meanwhile, he's getting a bunch of roaches out here. He may be able to wipe these guys out. And if he can see off this defense or render it too low so they can't actually do anything, then he is going to be awesome. And right now, TargA has an awesome amount of forces. Jaedong's army has been completely wiped out almost. He's got these 6 roaches down there. The defensive guys have all been wiped out. He's going for mutas, But with the Hydra ball in the middle, I feel like that's really not going to help him that much. These locusts just taking our workers out all over the place. And meanwhile, the main army going in. And Jaedong is, I feel like, he's just not going to be able to do it here. The Swarm Host definitely tipping the balance. And TargA just overwhelmingly going in here, keeping his forces all together. And just doing a really, really great job. Jaedong choosing to split up his forces, sending him half of them in there to have a crack at this army. But yeah, well, I don't know if it was the right decision. He's doing a really, really great job. He's sending these forces in, trying to make something happen here, and he might just be able to finish off those forces. But the problem is that TargA has fought him to a standstill here and beaten this attacking force by the merest of edges. But in the end, I mean, TargA has the army, although a whole bunch of Hydras getting taken out. These mutas are doing a great job at sniping the Hydralists out, and TargA not doing a great job at, this is a race of an entirely different sort of species, man. He's got to take out this, this hatchery. He's got to take it out really, really fast. Ooh, excuse me. And wow, let's have a look here. Jaedong at 270 minerals. And I think he is going to lose here, man. I think he is going to lose, but TargA has no way. There we go, cancelled it at the very last second, and now he can build another one. Where is he going to be building another one? Does he even have any workers? He's got one worker. It's sitting over here, and a bunch of roaches trying to get through here. Not quite going to be able to. They're worried about this thing. They should be worried. And here we go. It's going down. Where is the building going down? It's not rebuilt his base. I thought they said he has rebuilt his base. My God. There's just buildings all over the place, and the problem is he's taken out the hatchery. Where are the workers? Where are the workers? They're over here back in the main, so he can build a hatchery whenever he wants. And TargA just consistently trying to wipe stuff out. The mutas are slowly and surely wiping out the ground units of TargA. He has one Hydra, 14 roaches, and if we have a look here, there we go. This is all he needs to take out. But these overseers, man, just putting down a wall of changelings to stop him from going in. And there we go. He's going to bust through. He's going to bust through. And Jaedong waits for the perfect moment to put down the hatchery in his main base. Oh, I feel so sorry for TargA right now. He's going to take this out, and the game is not going to be over. And I don't know if he got the message that Jaedong has rebuilt his base, but he is definitely screwed right now. And this hodgepodge bunch of mutalisks, which Jaedong managed to get out, has he's just bought himself enough time for the mutas to take everything out. TargA didn't get the concerted effort to take out the mutas with the Hydras, and Jaedong did a beautiful job of taking out those Hydras bit by bit. And in the end, TargA just ended up with roaches and mutas, but roaches and swarm hosts, sorry, and Jaedong pulling stuff out of left field. I have never seen that before in my entire life. Using the changelings to block the ramp so that the forces could not get through is just so good. And TargA was in such a hurry, man. He was trying to kill those guys, but with 4 or 5 overseers over there, he just could not do it. I don't even know where these overseers went. He can't have killed them because he had no anti-air left. We're looking for blue overseers, aren't we? Where did the bastards go? I really can't say where those overseers actually went, but yeah, they definitely good though. I'm gonna have to go down, back, and actually we can just do this, can't we? There's 6 overseers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These spread them all over the place. But just before, they were all here, and they were all putting down changelings. And yeah, manually trying to micro. When you're under a cloud of overseers and you can't actually target anything below them, trying to target those changelings, it's just an absolute nightmare. And man, we're going to go back and we're going to check that out, because that was just freaking hilarious. So yeah. Here we go, a bunch of changelings all over. And he's got a single extractor over there, and TargA are going to be pushing in. But here we go, a bunch more changelings, and they all just must be in hold position right now. So, yeah, just completely blocking off this ramp. He's finally attacking it, but look how much time he's buying himself, and the muta's just taking a terrible toll on all of those units. And I think there was one Hydra, but that guy got taken out first, I feel like. So, yeah, just incredible stuff there from Jaedong. And taking this game away with some very unorthodox play right there. And yeah, it really came down to, I mean, just cancelling this hatchery when he knew it wasn't going to last. Giving him just enough minerals to build another one here. And I feel like he could build an extractor here instead of the hatchery, and he still would have taken that game away. So really nice job there by both players here. It was a very crazy base race, but in the end, Jaedong choosing to go for the mutas at a time when you think, well, what a muta's going to do for me in a base race, but it turned out to be the correct decision, and Jaedong really doing a great job winning this game. Absolutely fantastic. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching this. This has been Hairy Muppet. I hope you enjoyed this game. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.